everybody, thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Ritten Vintage Homestead if you're watching me on YouTube, and Rittenhouse Farms if you're local. It has been, and I'm sure you guys are all going through the same thing, hotter than Hades for the last 2 weeks. And so a lot of what I've been doing has been indoors because I just can't breathe in the hot. So I wait until about 6 o'clock in the evening and 6:30, and then I can come outside for like an hour and a half or so and get some things done. It's been a while since I posted because we have been really busy. This is our busy time of year. May is spent in excitement and anticipation because the weather starts warming up. You can't wait to get the seeds in the garden. You can't wait to get the ground tilled and everything going. And you're just hopeful and you're getting those projects done and you're just plowing through. June, on the other hand, is spent weeding, fighting bugs, fighting squirrels, fighting deer, trying to keep raccoons away from your chickens, beetles, pests, rain, wind. It's just a constant fight on the homestead to have a beautiful crop and beautiful flowers come in July so that you can harvest them in August and September. So that's what we're going through. We're fighting those. We fought those things all through June. So I think we're back on our feet now for July. And we're finishing up some projects around here, and hopefully we will get a good abundance of vegetables and flowers here in the next month or so. So I wanted to show you guys the beginning of the season, things that we were doing and we were excited about. And then the month of June, things that we were fighting and worrying about, because that's the reality of it. You know, it's not all roses and prairie dresses and, you know, sourdough bread. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for a 63-year-old, I tell you. So, but it's worth it. Once you start reaping those rewards of a fresh tomato, it's all worth it. So come on, you guys, and I'll show you what we did. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Ritten Vintage Homestead. You want to see what the life of a homesteader is like on the weekends, because I work Monday through Friday. So you guys, I'm sorry, I'm really clogged up today. So, you know, that's a problem too. But anyway, I'm going to show you the life of a homesteader at the beginning of the season, and it's a hot mess. So as long as I can hold out, let's go. We were having some sewer issues this week, so now since we're not working on the garden, it's a great time to dig up the sewer. The guys will be back on Monday to bury it, but I am putting this down for posterity reasons, so the old homesteader knows what pipe goes where. It doesn't look very attractive by this day, but next week it'll all be covered and we'll get some grass seed on there and it'll be fine. I'm gonna have about 3 of these cattle troughs to fill up with my garden this year. So I want to put like my lettuce in here, my radishes, my carrots, my spinach, so that they're up off the ground. So as I'm working in the yard today, I'm picking up pine cones and bark and sticks, and we're going to put trees that we've cut down in there to fill up the bottom part so we don't have to use all soil in there. So I'm doing all of that today before I start mowing. I swear, when these girls lay an egg, they want the entire town to know, like they're the first females on the face of this earth to ever give birth. And so, boy, they all join in the party and start yelling, and this will go on all day because I've got about 9 more eggs to go. So now we're over at my daughter's. She cut down a tree. This nice, real pretty birch. And we're getting the logs out of her burn pile, and we're going to put those in the bottom of our cattle panels. And you know, spring has sprung. When Mr. Re-Ritten is outside tilling up the garden, that means it won't be long. And the gnomes are out. Today's project is fencing. We're fencing in this whole side of the yard for the girls so that they have room to run. They're starting to get in a bad habit of going back in the woods there or over here with the horses. And I want to keep them safe from predators, so this will give them a lot of room to run. Other than their run, that will keep them sheltered if it's raining. And we have help from all the Three Stooges here today. We have Marshall. We have his brother Reggie. And then over here in the truck, we have the hardest worker of all. And that's my grand dog. There he is. That's Poopy. Nice and cozy. So we've secured the end of the fencing here with clips, and we've tightened it up with a come-along down at the end. And now we are putting clips around our posts here, and I wanted to show you how this is done in case you need to put up a fence. But we have these clips, and we start with the short end and hook that over there. Then you take the long end and put it over the fencing and then twist with this little tool right here. And then you can take your pliers and secure it so you don't stick yourself or anyone else if you need to. But there you go. And the girls and Cordell are finally out in their new fenced-in area, and it's rather large. Goes all the way over here, and then all the way back here. And the girls are out for the first time in their fenced-in area, and it took us all day. There's just the two of us, Mr. Re-Ritten and myself, but they have this whole side of the yard that's theirs. They have these trees to shield them from hawks and other predators and to keep them cool this summer. And they can come and go into their coop and into their run as they please. So just as long as they don't figure out they can fly over the fence, this will be really nice for them and for me, because it'll keep my, it was a whole lot cheaper doing this than fencing all of my gardens and having them tear up all my flowers too. So keep your fingers crossed this will work. Well, today's one of those days. I have a terrible headache and stomach ache, stiff joints. But you know what? I don't have a choice. I have got to get out here today. We have had, well, first of all, our tiller went kaput. So had to get a new tiller, get that going. And then we've had wind and rain for days and days and days. I've never been this late in getting everything out. And you know, I work full time too, so I have to wait until weekends to do my work, or the evenings, but the weather's really held me off in the evenings. So today's Saturday. It's the thank you, Jesus. It's a beautiful day outside, so I've just got to muddle on through. We did a lot of permaculture this season, which I always do, but this year I'm really going to focus on that, on permaculture. Now, that is when, you think of gardening, you think of farming, you want a big yield, right? And you want healthy plants, and you want beautiful fruit. Well, yeah, you do. Of course, you're a farmer. You want to make money. You want healthy, tasty food. But permaculture is when you think about the soil. What are you doing to the soil? What are you doing to the colonies, to the microbes, everything that lives in the soil, so that it's sustainable and it'll grow for you every year, and you're actually feeding the soil instead of depleting the soil. So you're thinking about all the things that go on under the soil, not just above the soil, which I've always done that with trying to use natural fertilizers and rotating our crops. Now, we have another field at my son's house, so we're putting tomatoes out there, the majority of tomatoes out there this year, and we've rotated the corn. So because sunflowers, corn, they take a lot of nitrogen out of the earth. So we've rotated those, and so I'm going to show you a few other practices that we do to encourage permaculture here at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. So, you know what? Let's muddle through, you guys, and get done today. I've got to get my gardens in today. I have no choice. And let's go. So to promote the soil health out here, another thing I do is I make sure that I purchase biodegradable cover here, that as the season goes on, it's just going to disintegrate. And instead of using the little metal hooks, they look like staples, that you put down in the ground to hold your blanket here, I'm using, we cut these down from my daughter's house. We're using them for all kinds of things here at the homestead this year. And I'm using those to hold this down. And then we're going to mulch. Mulch is another permaculture principle that breaks down and goes into the soil and refeeds it. And I use all kinds of things, but in this bed I'm using straw. And so what I'll do is, after I get everything planted here, then I will mulch with my straw, water it down really good so that it doesn't blow away, and move on to the next row. I have found that I can never ever plant enough zucchini or green beans. And it's not because I sell so much zucchini, it's because I bake with zucchini, and that really sells. So all of my zucchini breads sell out. So what I don't sell in zucchini, I put in bread. I am so lucky to have an ample supply of chicken poop here on the homestead, because chicken poop is a wonderful fertilizer. Its organic compound adds calcium, magnesium, potassium into the earth, and it feeds your soil, which is what regenerative gardening is all about, feeding that soil. So if you have some chicken poop, make sure you use it, and they also sell it at the store. I am very happy to say the garden is in. Well, actually 3 gardens are in. We do rotate crops because it's good for your soil. We have one huge plot here, a smaller plot here, and a plot at my son's. And it's this wonderful food that is fertilized organically that I sell to my customers on my food cart. So we planted 52 tomato plants These are some of the green beans that are coming up now. I think I have 8 rows here, another 5 rows at my son's. Here we have 3 rows of assorted peppers, jalapeno, red, yellow, habanero, green, of course. And then in the next 3 rows, we have zucchini and okra. I'm going to pickle some okra this year. Some more tomato plants. And the tomatoes we have Early Girl, Best Boy, Big Boy, Cherokee Purple, Yellow, Chocolate Cherry, and the small cherries. Those were all grown in my she shed. We have more tomatoes right here. This is part of my son's corn crop. Down here we have the cucumber fence. I think I have 40 cucumber plants along here. And then I have sweet onions in between. And down here is our little compost trash can. It's actually a fire bin that you can burn stuff in, but it's perfect for compost because it has holes in it that allows the oxygen to flow through. So that's another thing we do for our regenerative farming, is we put our compost in here, stir it around every now and then, and add it to the soil. Then over here we have some more tomatoes and the corn. Let's look at the other bed. My flower garden needs some serious weeding. This I haven't got to yet, but I will. And I'm so excited because we found some milkweed seeds on the corner down here by where we live, and I brought them here to my flower garden, and I got one to come up. And that will really help with the bees and the butterflies, which will in turn, of course, help my plants. Look at these peonies. Aren't they pretty? I love peonies, but they sure don't last long, do they? I've got hollyhocks coming up. Down here on this end, we have rhubarb. I'll be selling that this year and also putting that in with my strawberry jam, because I tell you, strawberry jam is good, but when you put it with rhubarb, it's to die for. It is to die for. Over here, we have more corn. And it's starting to come up. There along the back, more tomatoes. Over here on the side, strawberries. I don't know if you can see them, but there's 1, 2 blueberries. And the girls being nosy, wondering what I'm doing. I think I forgot to show you the grapes. We have grapes this year and all the fruit trees. So every year we get bigger and bigger. I'm so excited about it. Oh no! Look who jumped on the fence. I am in trouble now. And yes, I got them all back in. There's Cordell the troublemaker, the jailbreaker. Before I can get to my baking, my canning, my yard work, my weeding, all the stuff I really want to do, I have to get my bi-weekly blood taken. So I see oncology next week, so let's get this over with. Okay, now that we're done with that, we can get back to living. While May is all about growing and planting, June is all about weeding, and July is about harvesting. So today, I'm going to work on this corn here. As you can see, it's starting to get taken over by weeds. We don't use any kind of weed killer or anything out here on our corn. So this is before, and I will show you after when I get done. We had 70-mile-an-hour winds come through here last night. So the corn is all laid down. And I am just praying that some of it, or the majority of it, is going to pop back up. It'll do that sometimes as long as it's not broken off. But oh, how disappointing. And this is the field after weeding, and it looks so much better. And I'm happy to say that this field of corn stood back up after the storm. Thank goodness. That would have been a shame. But you get one area weeded and looking good, and another one takes over. So the month of June is spent dealing with weeds. And it's a lot of work. We're having another 91-degree day here. So the girls are having them, and Cordell, are having them some nice icy cold watermelon with some bird seed as a treat this morning. And we're going to try to cool the rest of this area off too, so I'll show you what we're doing. The girls like to look at themselves in the mirror, so I put out some frozen milk jugs here for them on these really hot days, and they like to lay by those like air conditioning and look at themselves in the mirror. So that's one thing we do to help cool them down. I also freeze water bottles, and I put those in their waterers, one out here and one in the run. I've got a little birdie barred rock in here that I'm gonna have to run out, because if you don't, they won't eat, they won't drink, they don't take care of themselves, and it's too hot. I keep a little fan here in the window at night and run that to keep them cool. And it looks like, yep, we got a few eggs in here. Oh, wait a minute. Someone else is laying. I keep a tub of fresh herbs over here by their coop to, number one, the smell helps with the flies, and number two, keeps girls healthy so they can munch on those whenever they want. There's mint, sage, thyme, lemon verbena. And yeah, I'll come out here every now and then, and they've pulled them a big old chunk out. There's my birdie mama, and she wants in that coop again so bad, but I'm trying to keep her out for a bit so that she airs out her feathers and gets some water. No, 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 no. Go on. And I want her to eat, and I want her to drink. Something else I do, I have these areas over here. Oh, she's gonna try to go behind me. Nope, nope, nope. Got her tail feathers. I have these areas of mud over here, and I keep those nice and muddy on hot days. That's how the girls and Cordell keep cool, as they walk through the mud with their feet. They are loving their watermelon. And the barred rocks especially love to play in the water. As you saw, she's not even afraid of the water. So they love to walk through the mud. They also have a little pool over here. So I water this down every day. She's going to try to sneak behind me again. Nope, I want you to stay outside for a little bit. Get some water, eat some food, stay out here for a little bit. It's a hot one. But I always make sure, I do everything I can to make sure the girls are staying cool. And I'll water a lot of the grass here about 3 times a day so they can walk through that, and it's nice and cool. So like my son says, these are the most spoiled chickens on earth. She found the right place to lay, right between the frozen jugs. And she can look at herself in the mirror and admire how beautiful she is.